Hey, it's me. Let's talk about the art of the call to action. It is so important that we do this right. I know you probably already thinking about what your call to action is gone knobby when you get into the sales process with your clients, and in this video, I want to make sure that you hitting all of the notes that are really important to making sure that that call to action is effective and that it gets them to buy. You need to make sure that you know exactly who it is that you talking to, because the language that you use and the way that you describe your product or service needs to speak to their language. Otherwise, again, they're not going to understand and they're definitely not going to buy. And that is, if you've identified what makes you unique, then you need to communicate that to your audience. Knowing your audience so well that you can anticipate their questions and you can address those questions up front. This is why it's so important to have a buyer persona developed for your business. So many times we'll have people come to our websites and we'll say, hey, add this to cart, add this to cart, add this to cart. Number one is urgency. Urgency is a really powerful tool because it creates a sense of immediacy. It tells them that this offer is only available for a limited time. It tells them that this opportunity is only available for a limited time, and that helps to drive action. That helps them to take that next step. Knowing your audience so well that you can anticipate their questions and address them up front, I'll have that video linked down below. Also, if you would love more tips on how to craft your call to action, I have a video on crafting the perfect call to action. I'll have that video linked down below. Having a clear understanding of what it is that you want them to do, making it easy for them to take that action, adding a sense of urgency, adding a sense of exclusivity, and adding a sense of authority. So adding a sense of urgency to your call to action can be really effective. And they want to buy from us, but it's just too complicated. There's too many steps involved. There's too much information that they have to give us, and that actually ends up turning them off, and they don't make the purchase. So it is really important that we make that process as easy as possible. So whether that means having a streamlined checkout process, whether that means having a really easy to understand and navigate website, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you remaking that process as easy as possible, because the easier it is for them to take that step, the more likely they are to do it. And if you haven't watched my video where I talk about creating a buyer persona, go watch that video. I'll have it linked down below. But in that video, I walk you through exactly how to identify who your ideal client is, what their demographics are, what their interests are, what their pain points are, what their goals are, things like that. It tells them that this is an opportunity that not everyone has access to. It tells them that this is something that is special and unique, and that they should take advantage of. So adding a sense of exclusivity to your call to action can also be really effective, because if you know who you're talking to, you can anticipate the questions that they're going to ask. Authority is another really powerful tool because it creates trust. When they see that you are an expert in your field, when they see that you are a leader in your industry, they are more likely to trust you and take action. So if you have any awards or accolades that you can share, if you have any testimonials or case studies that you can share, if you have any influencers or partners that you can share, these are all things that can help to establish your authority and help to build trust with your audience, which will ultimately help them to take action. You can anticipate the objections that they're going to have, and by addressing those up front, you are building trust. By addressing those up front, you are showing them that you know exactly who they are and that you know exactly how to help them. So it is so important that you take the time to make sure that you have that figured out. You need to tell them why they should care about that. So many times we LAL have a lot of people come to our site, and we LAL have a lot of people express interest in our product or service, but then they don't take the next step. They don't make the purchase. And the reason that they do UNT make the purchase is because we have UNT told them exactly what it is that we want them to do. We haven't guided them through that process. So it is really important that we do that. It's important that we make it really clear and obvious what it is that we want them to do next. So if you're driving traffic to your website, maybe it's getting them to click on a button. Maybe it's getting them to fill out a form. Maybe it's getting them to pick up the phone and give you a call. Whatever it is, you need to be really clear on what it is that you want them to do, and you need to guide them through that process. Now that you've told them what makes you different, you need to tell them why it matters. Why should they actually care? Why should they buy from you because of the fact that you have amazing customer service? Well, tell them how that's going to benefit them. Tell them how that's going to make their life easier. Tell them how that is going to save them time or money, or whatever it is that is going to resonate with them. So once you figure out what it is that makes you different, you need to communicate that to them, and you need to tell them why it matters. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So there are 7 elements to keep in mind when you're thinking through your call to action. No one is obviously you need to have a clear understanding of what it is that you are selling. If you don't have a clear understanding of what it is that you are selling, how can you expect your audience to understand it? So they can't buy something if they don't understand what it is, right? So first and foremost, you need to be super clear on exactly what it is that you're offering. Now that you've got that clear 3, you need to think through what is it that makes your offer different than anybody else's out there. What is it that makes you unique? What is it that makes your product or service special? And if you haven't watched my video yet, where I talk about identifying your unique selling point, go watch that video. I'll have it linked in the description below. But figuring out what your unique selling point is, what makes you different, is one of the most critical parts of the entire sales process. Because if people do understand what it is that makes you different, why should they buy from you versus somebody else? So that is a really important thing to think through. What is it that makes us special? Is it our customer service? Is it the quality of our product? Is it the price? Is it the experience? Like, what is it that makes us different? No. 4 goes hand in hand with that third step. No. 5 is equally as important, and that is knowing your audience. No. 6 is having a clear understanding of what it is that you want them to do. No. 7, which is arguably one of the most important steps, is making it easy for them to take that action. In addition to those 7 steps, there are 3 additional things that you want to keep in mind when you rethinking through your call to action. The second thing to keep in mind is exclusivity. Exclusivity is another really powerful tool because it creates a sense of value. And the third thing to keep in mind is authority. In closing, I want to reiterate the importance of having a clear understanding of what it is that you're reselling, who you're selling it to, what makes you different, why they should buy from you. If you would love more tips on how to get your audience to take action, I have a video that I did on 10 ways to increase conversions. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.